I'd like to call the LNR meeting to order on March 4th at 5 o'clock with the Pledge of Allegiance.
We don't need to do
No?
that today.
We don't
We'll
have to
skip
do
to
that?
roll call.
Well, I just wanted to be...
I know.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
know.
didn't put it on the
That's all right.
agenda.
All right. Call me a roll call.
Okay. Ken Minell.
Here.
Ron Dunwoody.
Here.
Gary Payson Jr.
Here. Alrighty, we have a couple things on the agenda. The first one is consideration and recommendation on the appeal of Isabella Chu regarding denial of an operator/bartender's license. So,
I can give some info on that.
Yes.
I provided Isabella with a packet. I also gave it to each committee member. It has Isabella's operator's license application in there. It has a copy of her bartender license for a different municipality, communication between Sergeant Croak and myself and Rebecca Perez regarding the denial. I did reach out to the clerk from the other municipality that issued the license for Isabel, and they had an oversight and did not recognize there was information missing from the application, so she was approved in the neighboring municipality. Also in your packet is an email communication between Isabella and myself just confirming that she knew of the meeting and that she was going to be able to make it, and she is here.
okay.
Sergeant Croak, would you want to go into the process you guys go through for reviewing? Thank you.
Through email, I get the operator's license application as a PDF to review. Before I see it, Teresa at our office does a background check, runs a criminal history, looks up any, see if anybody has a CCAP history from any criminal convictions, and provides all of that info for me to review along with the application filled out by the applicant. The front of it is, name, birth date, addresses, places they formerly lived, and who they're intending to work for in the city. The back of the application has some questions regarding arrests and convictions. On this particular application, everything was checked no in reference to being convicted of felonies, misdemeanors, if as a juvenile they were waived into adult court, etc. And then, so a person can get an operator's license in our city if they submit their certificate that they went through, typically the bartender's course, the safe server type course, and or if they work in a different jurisdiction, they can provide their license from that jurisdiction, which was what happened here for Town of Lafayette. It was what Isabella provided for us. So then in review of the application with all felony and misdemeanor convictions checked as no, then I reviewed a criminal history for Isabella and found that there was a violation out of Burlington Township PD with an arrest date of March 23rd of 2017 for possession of THC and drug paraphernalia. Ultimately, the disposition for those two offenses was the drug paraphernalia was dismissed and the possession of THC on her criminal history is labeled as convicted as a misdemeanor offense. So therefore, the box, since your 17th birthday, have you ever been convicted of a felony or misdemeanor? I mean, it should have been checked yes, based on the criminal history that I see, but it was checked no. Okay.
And now I'm going to ask City Attorney Phillips if he can guide us through the next steps of this process.
Sure. So Wisconsin's law prohibits the denial of a license based on pending arrest or conviction record unless the record substantially relates to the licensing activity. Also, improperly filling out the application can be a basis for a denial. So I guess at this point it would make sense, since this is a quasi-judicial type proceeding, to give the applicant the opportunity to speak and be heard.
Okay. Isabella, do you want to come up to the table or the podium?
I'll go to the podium. My name is Isabella Shook, and I'm here today to explain what happened I work at Alpine Valley, and when I filled out the bartending application for there, I was under the impression that I didn't need that information, as someone higher up told me that it would be not relevant to the application. So I went along with their word and turned it in for Lafayette, and they approved me. So when I went to fill out the City of Elkhorn's application, I was under the same impression, but now I see that was ignorance, and I should have included all of my information. If I could go back in time and put that I had a misdemeanor, I would have done it. And I hope that I can have another chance, because I really like bartending and serving, and it'd be kind of inconvenient to me if I couldn't get my license.
Okay. Does the committee have any questions for Isabella or any of us?
No, the question I have is, then we make a recommendation whether she can go back and apply again? Would that be-
Correct. If there
yeah.
isn't a ton of guidance in the statutes. One of the options Sergeant Croak and I discussed was if she could complete another application and provide the missing information, as long as the committee is okay with that. She realized it was a mistake, obviously from prior guidance that, and was approved, even though it shouldn't have been before, so this wouldn't have happened if that didn't happen, type of thing, unless there's something else the committee would prefer.
I have a question for Attorney Phillips. I do have met Ms. Shute several times. Her boyfriend works at another establishment, which I have frequented, so I have met her. So should I recuse myself just from previous,
Do you feel have a friendly or personal relationship with her?
just conversational is all?
Do you feel it would in any way impact your decision one way or another today?
No, I just wanted to get a clarification from you, what your,
If you don't feel as a committee member that this would influence your decision one way or the other, it's entirely up to you whether to recuse or not. If it was a family member or a close personal friend, then I would have a stronger position on that.
all right, thank you.
So, based on everything that you've said, I'd like to make a motion to have you reapply. That'd be my motion.
Is there a second?
I will second.
I'll second. You second it?
Yes, I will second.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor to have her refill the application out and put it back in and go through the process. Is that right, Dan? She'd go through the whole process again?
Yes, just to make it true and accurate on paper.
Okay.
I've reviewed everything that's available, so I will review it again, true and accurate, written in your own, check the boxes.
All right.
Type of thing, and, yeah.
Okay.
So can I just ask
Yeah,
a question
sure.
for the officer? Officer Croak, do you feel that the time elapsed from the charge and conviction that she had before and the nature and relationship of that to the operations of being a bartender would prevent her from getting a recommendation from the police for an approval in the future? Because why make her reapply if she's just going to be denied?
I'm not certain that there will be a denial. I think if we can get an accurate application, for what I've seen, it's the only charge nearly 6 years ago, working a current job. I mean, if we suddenly approve her and wherever she's working, we start to have problems, there's ways to handle that with citations and things like that, and she won't be up for a renewal. If it's determined maybe that she's not such a fantastic bartender, I don't know. But
Sergeant Croak and I did discuss this, and because it's not directly related to alcohol, it wouldn't have been denied if the information was there in the first place, correct?
yeah, that's the terminology, is that the license can be denied for violations directly related to the license. So operation of a bar, essentially, so, those types of violations off the top of my head would be over serving or closing hours violation or allowing underage drinking. If if I saw those types of violations, those would be grounds for the denial based on the similarities to what the license is.
Drug-related activities, I think, could also fit into that as well. But I think based upon the history here and the length of time and the nature of this particular charge, it's not like it's manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance or something.
But I think filling out another application, then they would have on file that application that she filled out, and it's filled out properly, not.
Correct, not
I
missing the
wanna correct
information.
this one.
My purpose in asking the question was simply, I didn't want her to go through the exercise if the police were just going to then say, well, we're recommending denial as well. So if that wasn't going to be the case, then it makes sense to do the motion and have the vote. So that's the last thing I had.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So, you're
Sorry.
no, go ahead, Lacey, what she has to do here now.
I have a new application for you to complete. If you're available and you can come see me tomorrow, we can review it before you turn it in. And you do need to sign it in front of a notary, which I am, and we have many here. So if you want to take this copy, and I'm here tomorrow from 8 to 4:30. I take lunch around noon. I don't give up my lunch, so I won't be here at noon.
Then that would be approved by city council on the next meeting in March.
Yes, this will go to full council just for the committee to make their recommendation. And so I don't believe we'd be able to release the license until that approval after the 18th. Okay, so it wouldn't be ready until the 19th. Okay?
Does she have to pay again?
No.
Give those to Lacey, please.
All righty?
Isabella, could I have that packet back too, please? I just want to make sure I shred all those. We don't leave the information all over the place.
The next thing on the agenda is consideration and recommendation regarding a special use permit application for outdoor seating at Ricky's Place Restaurant LLC, 1 North Wisconsin Street. I think we all know where that's at. Do you have something you want to present there, Pat? Or?
So this application and the picture Pat did submit.
Right, there should be a drawing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
With the drawing.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's in the packet
Yeah.
that everyone received and was on the website.
So basically what we're trying to do is, because we have a covered awning out there now, and the surface is level, and we're not encroaching on the sidewalk area, we have 8 feet from the building, another foot buffer, and then the sidewalk is paved all the way to the curb there. So looking at putting up, again, in the pack, a barrier, which was indicated we need to have a barrier there with an ADA-approved opening, say 42-inch opening for wheelchair accessibility. And we're looking at a kind of a cedar tone, horizontal wood barrier fencing there. And I think the application was looking for from early May as the weather turns into October, I believe, something like that. So it's seasonal.
Okay. Any questions for him?
So,
Does the planning commission have to review that? Because it's actually adding something to the structure?
I got the sense from this picture that this is something that's temporary. You're going to put it in and take it out.
It could be, yeah, depending on, I guess we're looking for input from that too, whether, so it's the, we have 12-foot, whereas round posts every 12 feet, so 2 6-foot segments would fit in between the posts. They give 48 linear feet and an 8 foot of width there. So it'd be at your discretion, I guess, to see if it was with, what's the
Allison?
Allison's approval, what she would think as far as.
Just get run past.
So, no, not yet. So the last time we had an item like this was when we created this special use application. We don't actually have any sort of form to change a premise description in the current licensed year. So I advised Mr. Watts to complete this application and see where we go. Since it is asking for more than we've had before, and it's like an entire season they want to do this, I don't think it 100% lines up with our special use code. But we are getting to the point where we're going to start renewals, and so that would be an extension of premises. So I wanted to bring it to you guys sooner than later, so we could kind of decide where do we need to go with it? Do we need to create something else? The city of Lake Geneva does have a premise extension application or something along those lines, it's called. It's actually a great document which we could just copy from them. So what do you guys see that you like? What do you not like? And
Well,
then we
my only
can-
concern, well, one of my concerns would be making sure that it is structurally sound to be able to do this. I like the idea.
I do too.
It's just making sure that, you know, the space is proper, we got the actual dimensions and everything else that does, you know, comply with everything it needs to be complied with.
Is it going to be, is there anything that's going to be in contravention of their liquor license, or serving it outside of the structure proper itself?
It is changing the premises description, so
Right.
that would be required. My recommendation would be to run this past Allison. I don't see it, to answer your initial question, I don't see this as a structure that would affect, you know, a change in that sense. But I do think, because we're gonna see this, I think, from time to time in Elkhorn, and we really have never had it before, it would make sense to have a procedure down that we were used to and could follow every time. And as the mayor pointed out to me a moment ago, when we did Friends in the Square, which of course is the opposite situation, because it's like permanent structure that's changing everything, and it's year round, that it's gonna be there. It'd be nice to follow the same procedure, though.
Right. And even with that one, I remember that one, that was in the back.
Yes.
It was in the alley per se versus right there in the
And it
front.
was restricted access only
Correct.
the one way in to
Right.
the area, and it was monitored.
Yeah, the other thing to really pay attention to is having a server or someone out there, or someone that's got their eyes on all the time, because you don't want to be serving alcohol in an open seating area and not having somebody just wander away with it.
Mhm.
Right, and that was part of the, you know, with a barrier in place and up at 42 inches or whatever, so people aren't just going to get up and walk out of there.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we'll probably have more if we have one. And in most places, we don't have enough room, you know, that's versus Lake Geneva or Burlington or wherever. But in this case here, we have the room. So, but I think we should have a standard set up, and maybe Allison can put something together. We got time yet, Pat. I mean, it
Yes,
wasn't gonna
yeah.
be tomorrow, so.
Yeah, so we're just trying to investigate now, see where our options are, where we can go with this.
Right, so, the recommendation would be,
To table it through, till gets run by Allison.
I think it would be a good idea to run it by Allison, and then maybe if she agrees, and I think she probably will, put it on a plan commission agenda to have it at least come up once at plan commission.
okay?
Okay, so send on to plan commission. We don't really need a motion for that, right? Or do you need a motion? Okay,
I see this as kind of a concept review situation.
okay.
Right.
Great, thank you very much.
Sure.
Yep,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion.
That's all we have on there tonight. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.